Hello and welcome to the next video. In this video I'm going to be telling you a story of an incident that I witnessed when I was living in Tianjin, China. And I'll call this the Are You a Member? So in my old job, and I'm not going to name any names for a lot of reasons, one of the things that we had to do was, or students had to do in this case, is give kind of a presentation every time they upgrade their level. So this usually consisted of a short speech on a topic that they chose, something that should be appropriate to their level. And it was a fun exercise for the teachers because you got to see at the end of the student's level, as they were finishing up and going to the next level, what they've accomplished with this speech. And in the beginning would be very simple things like, this is my hometown, I live in this place, I do this job, to more complex topics, maybe talking about some business process that they have at their job, or maybe some trip that they took and what they did and what they saw, and they add different levels of multimedia to it to make it interesting. Anyhow, in this particular situation, there was a student who, again, I won't mention names, real nice guy, who was giving a topic, and his topic was about the Chinese Constitution, which I didn't even know they had one at the time. But I thought, oh, this would be interesting to hear about this. And in his case, he had a background in law enforcement, but had transitioned out and wanted to become an attorney. So he was very much interested in law and things in the law there, and was working towards this career transition. Anyhow, so he gives this presentation and he talks about the founding of this document and what's in the document and examples and so on, and shows pictures of the text and how it's applied and so on. Again, this is a really short speech, so mind you, this is maybe 10 minutes or less, but he goes through a lot of stuff, and he was a pretty high-level student. And I found it really stimulating and interesting that here's this document that kind of mirrors the Constitution, the Magna Carta, and similar types of documents, with some of the same Bill of Rights, something you don't hear a lot of people talk about. Anyway, at the end of each of these presentations, students are allowed to ask questions to test fluency and just to find out a little more about the topic. So I open the floor when he's done. Anybody have any questions? This one male student raises his hand and says, you say that China has a constitution, but isn't it the case that the Chinese Communist Party is, the final word, that it doesn't matter that we have a constitution, it's whatever they say is the rule, is the rule? So he responds with, no, we have a constitution and there's rule of law, and the document does apply, and it has, basically that it has integrity, or not integrity, that it has some power behind it. So same student follows up with a second question. And he says, are you a member of the Communist Party? And the student giving the speech says, yes. And that was the end of it. Now, normally in these presentations, I'll allow 2, maybe 3 or more questions, depending on the time constraint. And in this case, no one had a question after that. There was just this silence. And I found that really interesting because here's this presentation about this topic, about this document that is binding and has, real power behind it, and is the founding of this system, something that they just brought out, and they're touting as this legal development. And here's a student kind of pointing out what a lot of people were thinking, which is, does it really have that much power? And is the person presenting it part of the real power? Anyway, thought it was an interesting story to share. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video.